Hi, can 12 mice convince us that eliminating sugar is dangerous? Well, that's what the media is trying to convince us. There was a little study coming out of Kuwait with 12 mice, and they're on a low-fat diet. So six of them, they gave them no sugar, and six got sugar. And guess what? They found that some of the microbiome and their blood sugar and their liver and their hormones were affected if they didn't get the sugar. So this has gone over headlines all around the world in German, Russian, and in AOL and MSN and amazing 23 different news outlets covered this story before it was published so that the reporters couldn't actually check whether this really made any sense. But what I noticed right away is that they mentioned that both groups of mice developed normally. They watched them for 16 weeks and they didn't change their weight. They were equal in their weight gain and they had the same number of calories. So I'm like, if they're both on low fat diets and one doesn't get any sugar, how are you going to make up the calories? It's going to be other carbs. So when it was finally published in July 20th this year, the in deep in the discussion, they say, well, we replaced the sugar with cornstarch. Well, guess what? Cornstarch does the same thing in the body as sugar. And they do back up and say, well, maybe the changes were due to the fact that we substituted cornstarch for the sugar in the no sugar mice. And we do have to look at all the range of the food that we feed, and especially the differences in carbohydrates. So it may be because not just because of no sugar, but also because of the added cornstarch. They just, in the discussion, they said this doesn't mean a thing. And then they say it's not causation, it's just association. And even though in the title of the article, it used the word induced, no sugar induced some irregularities. But anyhow, don't listen to these crazy things that our food industry comes up with to try to convince us, now that we're realizing the dangers of refined sugars in our diet and in 70% of our processed foods. They're trying to say, oh, no, 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 you do need your sugar. Don't believe it. They're going to just keep coming up with these crazy studies to give these ridiculous headlines. And the headline that they used, the one that they all used, so it must have been the 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 report that they gave out, Clean Eating. Why cutting sugar out of your diet might not be as healthy as it sounds. New study. So those 12 mice in Kuwait really died for nothing. And the group that sponsored the research is a nonprofit organization in Kuwait that's mainly paid for by the big corporations like the food processing and the chemical companies, which Kuwait is a leader in around the world. So watch out what the headlines say and read the articles and go to the publications when they finally come out, if they do. Thank you.